Next on Deck with Tim Black.
Is that when 30,000 Ukrainians sought asylum here in the city of Chicago, nobody said a mumbling word. But all of a sudden, indigenous people who are trying to get to a land that was robbed from them through colonization, they want me as a black man to be mad at them? You gotta be out of your freaking mind.
Brandon was cooking. No, serious. Being sincere. That brother put it down. Hey, his speech was passionate. I'll give him that. But it was also full of shit. I got some clips about the deportations. I'd like for us to be able to interact and discuss them without tearing people's faces off.
You feel me? I'm not going back to Haiti. Trump, you feel me? Yo, Biden forever, bro. Thank Obama for everything that he did for me, bro.
Well, he's wrong. He's going back to Haiti. I can tell him that. Well, I can tell you right now, Chris, is we arrested 1,300 people. Over 1,000 of them were criminals. Who are the other ones? They're either fugitives who've been through immigration court in order to remove but didn't leave and became a fugitive, or collaterals. Where did the collateral arrests happen? In sanctuary cities, because they forced us into the community. Like I said from day one, no one's off the table. If the United States illegally, you got a problem. But we are concentrating on public safety threats first. And it just makes sense. I don't care if a Republican, a Democrat, Independent. Why not let law enforcement go into a county jail, a taxpayer county jail, to arrest a guy that you locked in a jail cell? So obviously the public safety threat, that would solve a lot of this problem. I hope the sanctuary cities come around. I really hope once they see what we're doing, and we'll invite you out, we'll be very transparent. Once they see that we really are concentrated on the criminals, that they'll come to us and sit at the table and work with us.
What was the reaction, Bill, if you got any, from some of the residents in these communities?
It was interesting. Most of the time, people are just kind of like peeking out their windows watching it happen. But on the arrest of that Dominican illegal alien, the alleged heroin trafficker with the assault with a deadly weapon charge, a woman actually came up to ICE and told them, thank you for arresting him. She clearly didn't have a good experience with that guy, or for whatever reason wanted to thank the officers, and the officers responded and said, you're welcome. So just goes to show, even out here in Boston in the sanctuary area, there are locals out here who do appreciate what ICE is doing, and have obviously had issues with some of these bad apples that ICE is going after.
Well, one of the things that people kept asking today, and I knew you would have an answer, is how is it possible that these individuals with such long records, with violent records, whether it's assault or rape or sexual assault, drug trafficking, they were just freely going about their business in the community, doing God knows what, but it couldn't have been good.
You know what? I ask ICE that exact same question. When I see some of these rap sheets like aggravated child rape, rapes, attempted murders, I ask them, okay, how are these people on the street in the first place for you guys to go after? Like, who's releasing these people? And they all just give me the same answer. That's Massachusetts for you. That's Massachusetts for you. Like, these severe crimes, they get really low bails, so they're just let out, and then they ignore ICE's detainer requests. So, I mean, if you just go on ICE Boston's press release website every day, like, they're getting these horrible arrests every single day: child rape, sexual assault, murder, fentanyl trafficking, and it just makes your jaw hit the floor because all these people are out on the street free, and the locals just won't cooperate with ICE. It's mind-boggling.
That's a tough room. I can say this, man. There's not going to be any easy solutions, okay? But I got to wonder, what type of country do you want to live in where if there'll be a person that has broken the law to a degree of what this guy was explaining, and I'm going to take him at his word. I don't know if he's telling the truth or not, but I'm going to take him at his word if he's telling the truth that there are people that are illegally in our country, the one we pay to be in. I know I do. I don't know about you. And they've committed crimes, and the cops won't turn them over to ICE. So they get to continue to commit crimes and not go back to their country. They get to continue to commit crimes here. I don't want citizens committing crimes. If we can deport citizens who committed crimes that hurt people, like of the nature of which this guy was saying, and I'm trying not to say some of it, but some of it was violent stuff like killing people and assault and rape. Like, I don't know a person here that wants those people in their communities. I know just because I'm a black person doesn't mean I want my mother and my sister and me and my kids around that type of thing. I'm not without empathy. The city knows they just released a person who was undocumented illegally in this country for a violent crime against American citizens. You want to report them to get them dealt with? You want them to stay in this country? So how are they finding where to go to get these people, Johnson? That's because they're in the system. Because most of them, I'm hoping he's saying most of these people have broken laws. They have broken not just jaywalking, not an open container. I don't know. Sanctuary cities, they got this deal. They don't want to turn anybody over. I know that Brandon Johnson over there in Chicago went on this long, passionate rant about how he wanted to stand with the immigrant community. Is not going to do this, not going to do that.
Even for freedom. In this current moment, we will always remain a welcoming place for the globe. Whether you are coming from the continent of Africa, Central or South America, or by way of Salis, Mississippi, as my family did, the city of Chicago, with the love story between a black Haitian immigrant who fell in love with a Potawatomi woman and Kitihawa, the first black family in the city of Chicago. We will never turn our backs on those who look to find refuge in the greatest freaking city in the world. Black and brown, the coalition is still alive, no matter how people try to divide us. The last I checked, it's not just individuals coming from Central and South America who are seeking asylum. They're coming from Haiti. They're coming from the Cameroon. They're coming from East and West Africa. Now, what I do find interesting is that when 30,000 Ukrainians sought asylum here in the city of Chicago, nobody said a mumbling word. But all of a sudden, indigenous people who are trying to get to a land that was robbed from them through colonization, they want me as a black man to be mad at them? You got to be out of your freaking mind if you think I'm going to allow white supremacy to divide black and brown and indigenous people in the city of Chicago.
Brandon was cooking. No, serious. I'm being sincere. That brother put it down. Did a great job. He did such a great job, I had to look it up. He's right. In 2022, 30,000 Ukrainians did come to Chicago. It was a program called Uniting for Ukraine. These people were considered refugees because there's a war. Now, this is where it gets tricky. In order for these Ukrainians to qualify to be in the program, well, they had to get a sponsor in the United States. Yeah, sponsor, which is somebody who's going to pay their bills, house them, and provide all the support. Yeah, so unlike the undocumented or illegal people, or illegal entrants, or the undocumented, unvetted people from the southern border, these Ukrainians had to be vetted. And so did their sponsors. The sponsors had to fill out forms. The Ukrainians had to get visas, and they had to enter through the program. So that's a big difference between people just randomly showing up with nothing except tuberculosis and whooping cough, and for some strange reason, some type of strange dietary necessities, and coming through with your friends and family or people that you know, already in the country, already with a place for you to stay, and money and job, and that's different. So we got 30,000 Ukrainians that are vetted, who have sponsors to pay their way, and we have 60,000 people from the southern border who aren't vetted, who have no one to pay their way. Oh, I forgot. Except for the citizens of Chicago. All right. That's it. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure that we all knew what was going on here. Yeah. Brandon's full of shit. Back to you, Tim. I want to be very clear with you. The reason why they're going right this way, ma'am, is because there's money attached to it. See, there are people that don't understand how the money works. Every one of those migrants is a price tag. They are money, baby. There's going to be somebody get paid to feed them food, somebody get paid to shelter them, to put them in a hotel by the day. They get allocated a certain amount of money per immigrant a day. That money comes from, it's like printed out of nowhere. It's just free money to the company or to the organization that fulfills the service of helping these migrants. So that's what I don't think people get. There is no monetary assistance. There is no monetary benefit. Nobody's printing money for poor black people or poor white people on the street. But the federal government, or in this case, the state government, somehow prints money, not prints it, but gets money, moves money on a spreadsheet or in a database for migrants. That's the real reason why it's happening. It's not because they love them. They give a damn about what's going on in their country. Some of the things you guys are saying is just crazy. Like, were you born yesterday? America don't give a damn about people. America's a corporation. We're the United Corporations of the United States. What's going on with people? Some people are really getting this twisted. They don't like migrants more than they like you. It's just they're easier to make money off of. Dave Chappelle said it best. Black people are poor bargaining chips. Get it? Not because of something we did. It's just hard to make money off of us unless we're in jail. Then they make money putting you in a jail cell, like a hotel, putting you to work, fighting a forest fire, or making clothes for the military, or whatever they put you to work to do. It never changed. It never stopped. The 13th Amendment. It's a very dirty game, and we're on the bottom of this thing. And all of us are feeling it. And all feelings are understood. I understand somebody that says, hey, I care about people. Migrants are people. I want them treated fairly. I get that totally. I understand where you're coming from. I do. I wish there was a way where America did for its citizens the way they're doing for these migrants at this time. It would be the best case scenario. But I do want to add this. Even though I support sending back people that are legally here and have them come in an orderly way where there are time to allocate time for them or space for them, you can't be displacing and jumping in front of other citizens, United States citizens, who have not been receiving services. That just can't happen. That should not happen. That's what's been happening. I understand if you don't understand that because you haven't experienced it. I had to learn it from my audience. I'm in an office. I'm in a basement studio 7 days a week doing content and editing. It took you guys telling me this stuff and then me going out at 4th of July or certain events and talking to family and friends to get the lowdown of what's happening in the streets, just because everything I'm getting is coming through the media, through the internet, through TV, because I work all the time. But those are the stories that I'm getting. But I gotta add this. I would be wrong if I did not include this. If we ever gonna see any real changes that truly benefit us, lasting changes, Donald Trump would have to institute policies that I don't think he's going to introduce. As a federal jobs program, for instance. Housing, that would be important. These things, housing, education, and federal jobs, those 3 things need to be implemented. It's not going to be enough just to send migrants back without putting those things in place. You need those 3 issues taken care of. We need programs that aid in those areas if we're going to see a real, true change in our situation. It's not just migrants. It's not just a migrant situation that has caused the dereliction or the degradation of our inner cities. It's a lot of factors. But if you got a car, you need some new tires, you need the brakes done, and you need a new transmission or your transmission overhauled. If somebody says, well, hey, all that guy's enough to help you with the tires, you say, nah, keep your money. I gotta wait because I still need the other parts done. See, that's why some of the people say who be like, nah, we should be glad about this. Nah, it's necessary. America's very competitive. People that say America's not competitive are tripping. They must be on the upside of the competition. I wonder if they've had the complexion for the protection from the collection. Because when you sit on the bottom of the barrel, when you are from a people that have 10 cents for every dollar a white family has, you have 10 cents, and you're telling people at the bottom of the barrel, hey, it's enough for everybody. You sound like a goddamn fool. Frustration. How can I say this? Desperate times create desperate people. Desperate times make people act without empathy. And this desperation is all manufactured because a nation like America has the resources that its citizens could be more charitable. It just won't allocate the resources to the people. The money that was spent funding Ukraine could have ended homelessness in America. I shit you not. The resources that were spent funding Israel could have been allocated to raise children out of poverty. They were not. Nina Turner once said, poverty is a policy decision. For Americans to truly be more empathetic, we need our government to be more empathetic towards us.